The following program is brought to you by Eric Early for Congress 2020.
It's time, America, for the Eric Early Show.
I believe in American exceptionalism. I believe America is the shining city on a hill.
Eric Early is a successful businessman and attorney living in Los Angeles. Eric Early is now taking on the swamp in Washington, D.C. as a candidate for Congress against corrupt Congressman and career politician Adam Schiff.
Schiff walks around like he's this genius. He acts like this genius. He acts like he's smarter than all of us. And at the end of the day, he is a clown.
Eric Early is fearless, and his mission is to expose the underbelly of the beast.
Nancy Pelosi needs to be sent out into retirement also. She's probably about 20 years past her prime, quite frankly.
Get out of your comfort zone. You are about to be woke for the Eric Early Show, coast to coast and house to house. Now, here's your host, Eric Early.
Hey, folks, it's Eric Early. Okay, I'm on the screen now. It's Eric Early. Welcome aboard, folks. August 15th, 2020. We're here with the Early Report, reporting from the belly of the beast, and I'm here again with my special guest, Mr. Kent Emmons.
Brother E, good to be here, and happy birthday almost.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. My birthday's August 20th, and Ken had a party yesterday at his place. We had a lot of people there. It was really cool.
That was actually M, your much better half, doing that one. But all I did is provide
it.
Provided the what a great crew and what a great bunch of Americans.
Amazing patriots there.
Yeah. Yep.
Who won't be cowed by this dictator up in Sacramento that tells you what you can do on gatherings and everything else.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, really. But, you take a look at the folks that were out last night. These are people who, they're sticking it out in California, knowing that things are going to turn around, knowing that we've got new elected officials coming in. We've got a great slate of new congressmen coming in. And we're ready to rock this thing.
What Kent raises is such an interesting point. So many of you folks watch this in other states. Conservative people out here are always saying, listen, a lot of people say, I'm leaving. I can't handle it anymore. I'm not going to pay these taxes. I'm not going to live in these these conditions that are falling apart. I'm not going to have my rights taken away from me. I get it. I keep telling folks, I'm sticking it out. I know you're sticking it out, Kent, at least for now.
Well, listen, I'm a Tennessee guy, and I'm fortunate that I do have businesses here. But I got to tell you, the state makes it very challenging, which is why folks like you, Buzz Patterson, different guys like this who are running,
I'm fighting
we
to
have to have
this
you
state,
guys
man.
to take it back.
We are fighting to take back this state, and we will get this state back. The conservatives will get this state back one of these days. I know it. I don't know exactly when, and we're going to rebuild it from the ground up. We're going to take all this garbage, starting with Newsom, starting with this, going next to the supermajority up there in the Politburo, I call it, up in Sacramento. This moron, Javier Becerra, my former opponent, by the way. I once debated that guy, and I just washed the floor with the guy. I got 1 million votes, almost, when I ran against him in my first political race, and he has the brain of a turnip.
He does, but you have to go back and you have to look at the architect of what really took down California leading up to the last 20 years, and that is your opponent, Adam Schiff. And we need to talk about this guy. I mean, what he's done to this state has been unbelievable, and then what he's done into the national scene has been even worse.
Adam Schiff is a danger to the republic. He is evil. He is a lying sack. The only compliment I've ever given the guy, because I don't have an ounce of respect for him, is he's the most talented liar I have ever seen in my life. I spoke to a former Special Forces guy, or actually Navy SEAL guy, the other day, a very prominent guy. He said to me, with my training, meaning him, I looked at Schiff's eyes. I know a sociopath when I see one.
Yep.
And that's what he was referring to, and that's what we're dealing with. I got to take Schiff out. We'll be back after these few words, folks. www.ericearly.com.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Hey, folks, August 15th, 2020, Eric Early. I'm back with it's my great guest,
Good to be here, Brother E.
Ken Emmons, my man. Just a little bit about me, in case you haven't seen the show before. I am the official candidate going up against the one we were just talking about, the worst congressman of my lifetime. His name is Adam Schiff. He's a liar, he's a leaker, and as I said, he's a danger to the republic. On March 3rd, I got past 6 other people in the primary, so now it's just me versus Schiff. It's looking more and more like we're going to have a debate, Kent. We had been challenging Schiff all over the place for debate. All we got was crickets. My team contacted the League of Women Voters, and we heard from the League of Women Voters last week, and supposedly there's going to be a debate on October 5th. I will be filling in everybody with more information as soon as I find out, but I would love to debate this lion sack. I'd like to debate him early and often, quite frankly, but it looks like we'll get one, and hopefully he won't chicken out.
Listen, one of the big developments, I think, that's with you having been the only credible candidate in this race, or against Schiff in 20 years, is that, a lot of these people in Southern California, a lot of liberals, a lot of very left of center, and they love Schiff for, going after Trump and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is set in with these folks that they're looking at their own district, and they're going, you know what, that guy shows up for every national television camera out there, and he has not shown up for our district in 20 years. We have record homeless, the things that you threw your hat in the race to fight and to take care of.
Listen, Adam Schiff lives over 3,000 miles away from this district. He's got a house in Maryland. That's where he lives. Mike, you're giggling. It's true. It's crazy. We're sitting here in the 28th District of California, which is Hollywood, Hollywood Hills, West Hollywood, Los Feliz, Burbank, Glendale, La Cañada, Flint Ridge, parts of Pasadena, Sunland, Tujunga, Silver Lake, Echo Park. We're sitting out here. We have 50,000 people living on the streets out here, folks. If you're not from the L.A. area, it's hard to imagine. Schiff could give a damn, never did a darn thing about it. And Ken, as you know, problem didn't exist when Schiff started in office. Crime is massively on the rise out here because of these policies of this state. They've turned it into what I call a criminal's paradise. Schiff could care less. Schiff, however, has gotten on his knees to that anarchist group called Black Lives Matter to defund our cops. I want to increase funding to our cops. I'm a huge supporter of law enforcement. I will do anything I can to protect them in this day and age. We have to protect law enforcement like they've been protecting us for all these years, because they are under fire now constantly from these savages on the other side. So, this is why I'm running, folks. Schiff could care less. And also, I live a blessed life. I'm not a politician. Don't need this stuff. I run a great law firm, approximately 27 lawyers, nationally recognized law firm. I'm the managing partner. I run the business. I sign the fronts of a lot of checks every 2 weeks, so I know a good deal about running a business, and I've got a great family. But I stepped up because, you boil it down to 3 words. I love America. I love America very much, and we're not going to let those savages take over this country. And we're in a fight right now. We're in an internal battle with people that proudly now call themselves socialists. But they're communists. These are communists, and we've now got to fight to take back this country from them. They've populated the mainstream media. They've populated the Democrat Party. They've populated the educational systems for our kids. It's a problem.
It's a real problem. And again, now that the kind of the floodgates have opened, and this is officially now a very, very winnable race, you've got people from the left coming over going, we need representation in this district, and Schiff's not showing up.
Well, I'm not getting the far left, the ones that hate the president, and I support the president. The ones that hate the president think Schiff walks on water. But
you don't need the far left.
No, I need the moderate.
You've got these great,
Democrats.
Wonderful Democrats that have gone, you know what, I love Eric Early. He's a great guy.
I need moderate.
And we know he'll rep.
Thankfully, conservatives, Republicans, they're all supporting me. Can't stand Schiff like I can't stand him. We have a lot of no-party preference in our district, which are independents out here in California, and we have, a good deal of Democrats. And we need to break apart what we call the moderate Democrats and the more moderate-leaning no-party preference folks. And that's we're doing a lot of work in that regard. But as Kent was saying, we're hearing from more and more of those kind of people who've said they voted Democrat their whole life. They hate Adam Schiff. They're going to vote for Eric Early. We got to do it. People like I was just describing, like the conservative folks who who support me and who I love, they want law and order too.
Yep.
They don't want to see these maniacs burning down their cities and moving into their neighborhoods. They don't want to see police defunded. They believe in law and order too. So, as I say often, and as has been said, and as former President Reagan said, he said, listen, because he used to be a Democrat, he said, I did not leave the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party left me. And in fact, I used to be a Democrat, and then President Reagan was president. That's when the Democrat Party left me. I became a Republican. And that's what I say to so many of these more moderate Democrats now. I don't have anything against you folks, how you're registered to vote. It's your elected leaders that I have a huge problem with, and they have left you. So it's time to come to the bright side. Come away from the dark side. Come and support people who want to fight for you and fight for this greatness of America, for you, for your kids, for your grandchildren. I need your vote.
Yep.
That's the story.
And again, you've got him coming over. And just the fact that a couple of weeks ago, I had a friend of mine, pretty big producer on the left, Democrat donor and stuff like that, who said, you know what, I met Adam Schiff quite a few times. Personally like the guy, but I cannot vote for him. He said, I can't vote for him.
I can't believe he personally likes the guy.
He actually does. And he said, I can't vote for him. He said, look at what he's done. Look at our district.
Hell yeah. Let me read you something. I get messages often when people donate, and if you want to donate to my campaign, and we're fueled by donations from patriots around America. No donation is too small. The only one that's too big is $2,600. Or $2,800 is too big. Can't go above that. But no donation is too small. And I get comments with donations constantly. If you go to www.ericearly.com, ERICEARLY.com, you'll see it down here on the screen. And here was one that was sent to me, and I've read this a couple times, and it always touches me. So I'm going to read it, because this is why we fight. Hi, Mr. Early. I heard you on Sebastian Gorka's radio show with guest host Jennifer Horn. I like what I heard and wish that there were more like you. I am 82 years old and hope this country that I love and that I served will turn itself around, and I know it can with people like you. If it does not, I feel for my grandchildren. I just added you to my personal prayer list and pray for you and for each name on the list daily. Wish you all the best. May God bless you in all that you are trying to do. This is why we fight. We fight for America. Call it whatever you want. I want an America where people can live in freedom and liberty. People I may not even agree with what their points are. I believe in freedom and liberty too for them. If they're American citizens, they're law-abiding. We want the best life for our families, for our friends, for our relatives, for our neighbors, and for our great country. We'll be back after this break, folks. www.ericearly.com. I'm Eric Early, and I'll be back with Kent right after this break.
You
experiencing pain? Back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain? Pain from a sports injury? If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
When you really want Italian food, you've got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. My dear friends, today things are so confusing. It's enough to boggle the mind. That's why it's vitally important. In fact, it's an absolute imperative that you indulge in brain food, provided by the noted Institute of Good Times and Great Yum Yums, Columbo's. Just come on down. Columbo's provides the remedies and elixirs, such as mouth-watering steaks, incredibly edible seafood, Columbo's family secret Italian specialties, and the pièce de resistance, the world's greatest meatballs. Imagine margaritas on the Columbo's patio, cerveza and other liquid refreshments, or take your pick and bring it all back home and enjoy the great indoors. Columbo's, saving the world from gloom and doom with great grub and glee. Happy, happy, happy Columbo's. Mangia bene.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the Tax Helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. 800-932-1597. That's 800-932-1597.
So I'm a huge supporter of small government. I want government out of our lives as much as humanly possible. Just the opposite of what all of these people on the left are fighting for, which is government to control every aspect of our life. We now have a situation in California which is a perfect example of why big government is a disaster. And interestingly enough, this latest move that I'm going to tell you about is harming so many people who are registered as Democrats, who voted for these creeps that are making these laws. We have a law in California. It's called AB 5. It was passed sometime last year, and it outlaws your ability to work as an independent contractor, a freelancer, or a gig worker in California. Furthermore, if you're an employer, a small business, for example, and you continue to hire somebody as an independent contractor, a freelancer, or a gig worker, instead of making them an official employee with benefits and everything else, then you will get fined by the state of California. It could threaten your entire business. So what ended up happening? This state, as part of AB 5, is mandating that all Uber and Lyft drivers, DoorDash, food, delivery people, and everything else be employed by Uber and Lyft as employees. Uber and Lyft are not doing well financially, as strange as it sounds. Apparently, neither company has ever turned a profit, from what I've read. And so these folks, these drivers, are employed as independent contractors. And as independent contractors, you get to call your hours, make your own hours. You can control your life, and many people like working as independent contractors. I know this because before I became an attorney many years ago, I worked as an independent contractor in the film business. Film business is filled with people who work as independent contractors, many of them in my district. And let's say you edit a TV commercial, and you might work on that for a month or two. Then the job ends, and then you go out and look for something else. And so these jobs are really set up for independent contractors, freelancers, and gig workers. There are over 300 different livelihoods people work in that way. Truckers, nurses, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, et cetera, et cetera. So Uber and Lyft brought a lawsuit against the state of California to stop this from happening. And the state of California has also sued Uber and Lyft. This guy was just talking about, Javier Becerra, who's a complete knucklehead. And the basis of the lawsuit is the state of California is demanding that Uber and Lyft register all of their independent contractor drivers as permanent employees. Now, mind you, I believe it's over 70%, it might be 60% of Uber and Lyft drivers do not want to be permanent employees. They want to be living the lifestyles they're living, calling their own shots, the hours when they work, when they don't work. So the other day in this lawsuit, there was really a dramatic development. This was within the past week. Becerra, the state, brought a motion for a preliminary injunction to get an order that Uber and Lyft immediately start, classifying these people as employees. Uber and Lyft said, we can't afford to do it because we can't afford to pay everybody permanent benefits and everything else you have to do. When you have employees, you have to pay state taxes. You have to pay all kinds of benefits. You got to get workers' comp insurance and it's incredibly costly. And that's why so many small businesses can't afford it. If small businesses had to reclassify these folks as permanent employees, the businesses would all be out of work. So what happened? The judge in the case granted the preliminary injunction, has now ordered Uber and Lyft to classify these folks, all the Uber and Lyft drivers, as permanent employees. Uber's president came out and said, we're going to appeal this. We're going to seek an emergency appeal. If we lose that appeal, we're going to stop providing Uber and Lyft services in the state of California, which, by the way, that's a business's prerogative. You can make that decision. At the end of the day, state can't order you to stay in business. And so this is what we're facing right now. If this is upheld, this injunction, we in California are going to be without Uber and Lyft drivers. We're going to be out without DoorDash. We're going to be without Uber Eats. And all those Uber and Lyft drivers in the state of California are going to be out of work.
Eric, here is where the rubber meets the road in this case. In the state of California, where it already costs a fortune to live, the overwhelming majority of Uber and Lyft drivers have a real job, a regular job, and they do this to supplement their incomes so they can afford to make their house payments, pay their rent, support their children, get their children to school.
Pay the inflated costs of this state.
Yeah, and so what they're doing is they're turning it around and just screwing every resident of the state of California. One, from a service aspect like us, and two, from the people who rely on that income.
Without Uber, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we're going into the break, Kent. Folks, we'll be back. We'll continue this discussion on this ridiculous law, this job killer, brought to you by the Democrat supermajority in California. www.ericearly.com. Back after this break.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you could donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It will be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now, 1-800-785-9618. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-785-9618. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Attention Italian food lovers. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California is open for takeout with wine. Can you believe it? Angelo's and Vinci's Takeout is now able to offer you a nice bottle of wine to enjoy with your meal. Order today and get 1/2 price on our special selection of Pinot Grigio, Chianti, Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot. Mamma mia! Order today at Angelo's and Vinci's from our complete award-winning menu and get some great wine for 1/2 price. We hope you're healthy and safe. We want to keep you well fed. Wapo's To Go Kitchen is open from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day, or you can order through DoorDash. Pizza dough, bread, sauces still being made fresh every day. Angelo's and Vinci's named Best Italian Restaurant on the Orange County Hot List. Call 714-879-4022. Angelo's and Vinci's, 550 North Harbor in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022. That's 714-879-4022.
As a business owner, when was the last time you asked yourself if you have the right commercial insurance coverage? You need business insurance to protect everything you're building. One disaster without the right insurance could hurt your business, and larger deals you're trying to close may require that you have it. We recommend CoverWallet for all your business insurance needs. In just 2 minutes with their award-winning technology, they can offer you free competitive quotes from top insurance carriers nationwide. CoverWallet has helped tens of thousands of businesses, startups, restaurants, truckers, construction companies, landscaping companies, beauty salons, consultants, and they can help you. No business is too big or too small, and it's a free call to find out. Protect your business. Get the right insurance for your business. Call CoverWallet right now.
800-220-7612. 800-220-7612. That's 800-220-7612.
We're back, folks. So we're talking more about this AB5, this disaster brought to you by these communists up there in the Politburo. And you might ask, why would a state bring this on its citizens? Why would it inflict such a thing on its citizens? Because the entire Democrat power structure up in Sacramento is bought and paid for by the public employee unions. Bought and paid for. And so this started with a former union organizer named Lorena Gonzalez, who's now an assemblywoman out of San Diego. She is a slob, to say the least. And I know somebody out there who's watching this is probably laughing right now, but she is a total slob. And she brought it up there, bought and paid for by the unions. They, who knows how much they donated to her campaigns and how many union members volunteered for her campaign. And when you're a candidate, having that kind of force behind you, it's so tough to beat. But the unions want this law because if you're an independent contractor who's made to become an employee, the unions are pushing to make these union jobs, and every one of these new employees are going to have to pay a fortune in union dues, and the unions are looking at tens of millions of dollars of union dues. So this is why the Politburo up there is doing everything necessary to put all these independent contractors, freelancers, and gig workers completely out of work. And this is why we might be losing Uber and Lyft in the state of California if that preliminary injunction is not overturned by the Court of Appeal, and it's quite possible it will not be overturned.
And it starts in the state of California, and then it goes to Chicago, then it goes to New York, and then it goes to goes everywhere.
Well, I'm glad Kent brought that up, because there is a national version of AB 5 pending in Congress right now, pushed completely forward by the entire Democrat power structure up there in Congress, for the same reason, because they're bought and paid for by the union. And guess who one of the co-sponsors of the national bill is? This reprobate Adam Schiff that I'm against. And he's particularly despicable and devious in this one, because every time the CARES Act gets amended to be able to give some more money to our freelancers, independent contractors, and gig workers because of COVID right now, Schiff comes out with these tweets, and he gets on the local media, the sycophants in the local media who think he walks on water, and he brags about how he's bringing money for the independent contractors, gig workers, and freelancers. He's acting like he's their friend. And, of course, he's just the opposite. If it's up to Adam Schiff, if that bill passes, every single one of these people will be out of work. And, oh, by the way, and their livelihoods will be gone. And, oh, by the way, Schiff just won't say that stuff. So so what happens now is businesses in this state, if they want to hire an independent contractor, they have to hire an independent contractor from another state. And this is what's happening more and more.
Well, another state or another country, even worse.
Or it's happening. I know they've gone to Canada. I heard recently that this Lorena Gonzalez's husband, who is a Democrat in the state government here somewhere in California, he's another complete turd, quite frankly. He's up there looking for independent contractors in Canada right now to replace the independent contractors that he or his government agency was using that used to live in California.
Well, think of Eric, of all the independent contractors just since AB 5, Assembly Bill 5, just since it's taken effect in January. It took effect January 1. Yeah. How many have moved to Nevada, to Texas? They moved out of the state of California. These are pretty good earners. And they're editors, they're film editors, television producers.
You name it. Many nurses work as independent contractors.
A lot of them left.
As I said, many truckers work as independent contractors. Many, people of all different kinds of professions. Lots of people in the real estate industry. This is the last state in the union where we could afford to keep killing more and more jobs and more businesses. Let me tell you the other side of this equation. So if you're a business that only survived because you were able to hire people who worked as independent contractors and could never afford to hire them as an employee, you are teetering on the verge of bankruptcy because of that alone. Forget about COVID, which has put out so many businesses because of the way the state has treated businesses with COVID and locked them up. So businesses are still trying to stay afloat, some of them by hiring people as independent contractors, but classifying them as employees to try and get around it. The state now, this tyrant Newsom, has earmarked at least $20 million to go to the investigative agencies in the state to investigate businesses up and down the state to see if they are properly classifying independent contractors as employees or if they're trying to get around this AB 5. If these investigators find that they're not being properly classified, these businesses are going to be fined massively. They're going to face legal action. This is what we have in this state right now. This is government run amok. We should not be here. We should not be killing businesses. We should not be killing our independent contractors, freelancers, and gig workers. We should not be forcing Uber and Lyft to leave our state, especially in times of COVID. This would be bad enough if these same people that we're fighting up there in the Politburo had not killed our businesses and our jobs because of how they're mishandling COVID. This is what we're dealing with here, Kent.
It's crazy.
This is why we fight. So, it's sickening. And what I would say, folks, is to you folks in California who see this, regardless of how you're registered to vote, vote Republican. Because we have great Republicans up there in the Politburo, but their voices are not heard because of the what's called the supermajority. The supermajority means there's so many Democrats in government in California that anything they want passed, they can get passed. And if we had a majority of Republicans up there, they would get rid of AB 5. They've been fighting AB 5 since day one. And oh, by the way, if we had a Republican governor, your businesses, your jobs would have been open so long ago, it's not even funny.
And by the way, if you are voting in this upcoming election and there's not a Republican available on your ballot because it's a jungle primary thing out here, so you could have two Democrats running in a general, find a conservative Democrat at least.
Yes.
But for God's sakes, look what's happened to the state of California under Democratic rule.
There was one Republican up there, assemblyman, who supported AB 5. He will not be reelected because the various Republican Party groups throughout the state have come down against that guy to make sure that he never gets elected ever again. We need to take back this state, folks. We need your support. It's all in your hands. We can rebuild this state, and we will send a message around the world that needs to be heard. We'll be back after this message. www.ericearly.com. I could really use your support. Thanks, folks.
California, the Golden State. We used to be a shining example of hope and possibility, where imagination and drive could make dreams come true. Decades of bad policy left us vulnerable. Lying politicians promised everything and delivered nothing but high taxes and job-killing regulations. Politicians like Adam Schiff spent years pushing fraudulent hoaxes that distracted our leaders and threatened our democracy. That was politics as usual. Then came the pandemic. Now with millions unemployed and an economy in shambles, we must do better.
My name is Eric Early, and I'm running against politics as usual. I'm running to help rescue our economy and rebuild from the ashes of COVID-19. I'm running to bring job creators, workers, and all Americans together. I'm running against Adam Schiff to bring back the California dream. I'm Eric Early, and I approve this message.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
So here's a quote from the Wall Street Journal on May 12, 2020. As for Mr. Schiff, no one should ever believe another word he says, and I don't. That's the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal. That is not a fly-by-night organization. So, Kent, let's talk about this danger to the Republic named Kamala Harris.
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, the fact that he picked her doesn't surprise me because, I mean, she checked the boxes he wanted to check. And again, it was interesting. I have so much to say about this. Are you ready for this?
Let it rip.
I had a couple of friends of mine who are very left of center who, before they picked her, said, I can't believe that Biden, first of all, came out and said, I'm going to select a woman. And then insinuated, I'm going to select a woman of color. Because they could have had, no matter who they select, he's already put them in a token role. And now these are people left of center who are saying this, who are upset with who would be their candidate, who are now not going to vote for him on the principle that he has set this person up to be a token.
Kamala Harris, dude, I mean, she's bad. She's another one. She was created by the state of California. Thanks to the mainstream media out here, which is wall-to-wall Democrat, they built this woman up. She's a disaster.
To understand
her,
she started
her career?
That's exactly where I want to go.
She started her career on her knees.
with Willie Brown.
Exactly.
Now again, let's explain
folks,
to the
a lot of folks don't know who Willie Brown is.
Okay, so let's give them a little bit of this history because Willie Brown, of course, mayor of San Francisco at one time, I think he was Speaker of the House here, hires Kamala Harris. He's 30 years older than her.
Willie Brown was probably the most powerful politician in the state of California. Very charming black guy, really got along with everybody. He was your classic politician, and he literally controlled state politics. I don't know, 20 years ago.
He was the Marion Barry of California.
Yeah, without the crack.
With all that implies.
Right. Incredibly charming guy, blah, blah, blah. Up comes this relatively attractive young prosecutor who would eat through a mile of anything to become famous and well known. She's just, she is just so, everything is about increasing her career. So she meets Willie Brown. So what happens?
All right. So
she was going nowhere, by the way. She was a lowly assistant prosecutor, second, third-year lawyer.
Yeah, and nothing particularly special about her. Starts an affair with married Willie Brown. Now, by the way, I personally, I like Willie. I like hanging out with Willie. He's an interesting cat, but he's one of the worst. But he's one of the most corrupt and worst. I say from a personality standpoint, he's a character. You know, that's like Don. Don King. The guy's a creep, but he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, same with Willie Brown. So he starts banging Kamala Harris, and he hires her, and he takes her career to the next level. Now, he's married at the same time, so put this in perspective.
Kamala Harris is flaunting this affair publicly.
Yes.
She knows this Willie Brown is married for decades to a woman, and Kamala Harris is flaunting publicly her affair with Willie Brown.
Right. And so Willie Brown, controls a lot of political dollars here, controls a lot of the Democratic Party, and he ushers her in.
Yep.
Again, she had no substance. I mean, not too many state leaders out here have any substance. They haven't had for years. But, I mean, ushers her in and takes her all the way with his connections, his financing. And, again, they're having an affair all along the way.
This is what led to the creation of Kamala Harris in the state of California. She ultimately becomes, thanks to Willie Brown, the Attorney General of the state of California. She's just a middling lawyer, and she becomes the chief lawyer in the state of California, which in California, I guess it doesn't matter because the current Attorney General, Javier Becerra, the bozo I was talking about before, he did not practice law for 26 straight years before he became Attorney General in the state. It's a joke.
Now, let's go back to
Chief
Kamala
Legal
Harris for a
Officer
second.
of the state.
So
ahead.
Kamala Harris, take a look. She's been an elected official here in the state of California for many years. Look at her. Look at the track record of her. She was a prosecutor in San Francisco. Look what's happened to San Francisco. Just look at San Francisco. Look what's happened to it. Now look what happened on her watch as Attorney General of the state of California. Look what's happened. Look what's happened on her watch as a U.S. senator. And what's her message? Is her message, look what great things I've done for California. Now I can do this for you, America. We can make America.
And the other thing is
that California is.
Kamala Harris has no convictions whatsoever. Her only conviction is say whatever needs to be said to get elected. And that's all she does. So right now the Democrats have, I'm sure through their polls, they've determined that if they support these defunders, they just support these anarchists, they support these Black Lives Matter creeps, they support all this other stuff, their base is going to all vote for them. So Kamala Harris supports every terrible, America-destroying, kind of position known to man.
Well, she's a professional panderer.
Yes.
She started on her knees with Willie Brown,
Yes,
and
sir.
she is pandering to everybody in America the same way.
She was well taught by Willie.
Yeah. By the way, I got an advanced copy of her autobiography that's coming out next week.
What's it called?
It's called The Perks of Going Down on Willie Brown. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. I can't wait.
Mike, the producer, is rolling his eyes, bro.
He's got his hand on the 7-second delay button.
Well, that'll be a bestseller among Republicans, but the Democrats they'll do a book burning, so you'll never find it because they're good at burning books and burning and stopping anybody's voice they don't want to hear. Listen, We got Portland right now, for example, 70-something straight night of rioting up there. These people are sick. The last thing we need on earth is a Biden and a Kamala Harris administration. They will let these savages tear down our cities all around America. What they're doing to our great men and women of law enforcement makes me sick. I want to increase funding to law enforcement. We got to protect our law enforcement right now. And that starts with making sure that this Kamala Harris, this Joe Biden never get elected.
Yep, and again, she was a prosecutor in what has become one of the most crime-ridden areas in America. So you can see how effective she is. You can just go up there and look.
These people are weak. They're chamberlains. They get on their knees, and in the face of evil, they just bow down. We'll be back. We'll be going into the last segment, folks. See you in a couple.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. Call right now. 888-912-1332.
For the getaway of your dreams, come to Hawaii's Playground, Ka'anapali Beach Resort, on the fun side of Maui, where the world comes to play. Find your spot on Ka'anapali Beach with 3 miles of white sand, 12 resort properties, 2 golf courses, and 2 shopping centers. Enjoy the playground of Hawaii's ancient royalty. Ka'anapali Beach Resort is Hawaii's original master planned destination resort and home of the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. With views of 2 neighboring islands, you can breathe in the land's natural beauty from your favorite resort or golf fairway. Come experience Ka'anapali's own special brand of Hawaiian hospitality with world-class dining, relaxing resorts, water sports, and activities of every kind. For romantic, family, and great friend getaways, discover the options of Ka'anapali Beach Resort, where the world comes to play. Plan your getaway today. Visit Ka'anapaliResort.com. That's KAANAPALI Resort.com.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? News flash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Final segment of the show, folks. So, Kamala Harris is a danger to the Republic. Joe Biden, who I would be surprised if he even knows how to tie his shoes at this point, is, can you believe we're actually having a serious conversation in America about making that man president of the United States?
No.
What has become?
Mike had a great meme. Going back to this, you have to pull that one up. It's a great meme.
So what's that other line you have on
This is great. This is funny. The Babylon Bee, which is one of the funniest comedic news sites out there, kind of says it all. And a lot of people on the left believe this as well. But the headline is, Kamala Harris humbled to have been chosen exclusively for her race and gender. Yeah. Exactly. You know, and again, you have a lot of people on the left who are so
That's why
sick
she was
of
chosen,
Joe Biden
folks.
for
That's
tokenizing
why she was chosen.
her. Yeah.
getting back to Becerra a second, our state attorney general, he did lose a big appeal this week. We had a state court judge, a very brave state court judge. He ruled that banning high-capacity or large-capacity magazines for weapons was unconstitutional. That was the correct ruling. Becerra took it up on appeal to the California Court of Appeal, and just this week, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal ruled in favor of the gun owners and said that that state court ruling was correct, that large-capacity magazines do not violate the U.S. Constitution. So anybody in the state of California who wants to get a large-capacity magazine, now's the time to do it. And in this day and age of tyranny, government tyranny by these people on the far left, people get the magazines.
And it's not just the government tyranny. Here, there is a sixfold risk of being violated with a criminal action.
What they're doing to our police forces,
people have to.
We have to protect ourselves in this day and age, folks. While the far left is doing their best to dismantle law and order, and that takes us back again to Portland, where these people up there are watching their city be devastated by these savages, mostly white kids. They went through 20 years of brainwashing and indoctrination in their schools, Marxist indoctrination. They came out, they made their way through college, largely living off of student loans, which guaranteed they will never repay those. Now they're, they can't get jobs. Most of these people never get a job. They're living off their parents' credit cards, and every night they're out rioting and looting, and they go to these places where they have these weak mayors and these weak governors, and Portland is just Exhibit A of that. And we've got to lock these psychos up. We've got to stop it. It's time to take them in and lock it up, and yet they have an attorney general, a state attorney general up there who's just come out and said most of these people we're not going to lock up, we're not going to keep in prison. So this stuff's just going to keep going on and on.
Yep. Yeah, and the cities that make the right move will flourish. The cities and states that make bad moves will tank.
I wanted to talk more about how much I support a meritocracy. I believe in the value of good old-fashioned hard work, and that the cream rises to the top in anything, whether it's in jobs, professions, sports, whatever. And what these people on the far left are doing, and the mainstream media, is they're trying to base everything based on equity and justice. And you cannot have a society and based on equity and justice. You've got to build a country based on the people who work the hardest, who care the best, who are the most talented for what they do, getting to the top. Otherwise, you weaken the entire country.
Well, you wind up with old-timey China. You wind up with any communistic type of society. That's by the very definition.
And the new-timey China and the Russias of the world are looking at us and laughing because they know we're undermining the entire country. You can't have a basketball team based on equity and justice. I'd like to see what LeBron says if somebody says, listen, LeBron, half your starting lineup's got to be based on race. I don't think that's going to work for LeBron.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
Or height.
Anyhow, folks, we're coming to the end of the show. Just a few things that I like to say. I firmly believe that America is the greatest country that God ever created, and we're going to fight. We're going to keep fighting for this country. They won't shut us up on the other side. Not going to happen. I believe in American exceptionalism, and I believe, as the former President Reagan used to say, we're the shining city on a hill. We'll see you next week, folks. Same time, same station. You can find me at www.ericearly.com.